Holy moly, would you look at this? New product from the guys over at Latitude. They got the Bite Bow Hanger, a solid piece of aluminum bow hanger. I got my hands on this thing over at one of the shows that they were at that I went to, and the thing is sweet. If you need you a bow hanger, which everybody that sits in a tree stand or a saddle needs a bow hanger, go check this thing out. 30 bucks, latitudeoutdoors.com. It's time to start thinking about whitetail gear. ASIO Gear, it offers a fantastic solution for any of your clothing needs. They've crafted a premium line of bow hunting gear that stands out in quality, especially for the price point. What's more, every purchase from ASIO comes with a lifetime warranty. That gives you some peace of mind there with clothing. With their unique camo pattern and great technology in their garments, ASIO ensures you'll stay comfortable in the stand or in the saddle or whatever you're using. And here's the kicker. ASIO is offering a special deal to listeners. If you use the code ECHO15 at checkout, you can get 15% off your purchase of anything on the ASIO's website. So visit ASIOgear.com today to explore the selection of premium hunting clothing that they have over there. And finally, the original sponsor of this podcast, Stealth Outdoors. Makers of the greatest silencing tape on this side of Mars. And good news coming from Stealth Outdoors. Lou's offering everybody that listens to the show 10% off using the code BTE10. So, go to stealthoutdoors.com. Make sure you get your silencing tape. Get you a shirt from Lou. Go over there and support Lou. He's a great guy with a great product. Visit stealthoutdoors.com. All my partners are in the description of this podcast. Go check them out. What up, everybody?
Good afternoon.
It's evening where I'm at.
Yeah, well, I guess it's yeah.
It is afternoon too, technically. I don't know. What time does it flip over from afternoon to evening?
Well, I mean, it's 7 here, so I guess that is evening. Because if it was wintertime, it'd be dark. So
yeah, it'd be super dark.
Yeah, I guess we'll say it's evening.
Good catch, man. Catch. What?
I said good catch. Good catch.
Nice shirt, man.
Yeah, I like yours too. It's nice.
This is an old one.
Yeah, I like the color.
Logo. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
What's up with that other the logo, the possible logo? Anything?
Kind of still working on it.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so
secret logo.
Yeah. Got a new computer tonight, everybody. So if you see something screw up, it's my fault. I'm going from Windows to a Mac, which is much different. Like literally I changed over just before this here show. So
yeah,
it's kind of a miracle that I got on with it tonight. So
kind of a learning curve. It's weird. It's because it's they're more like a tablet, you know, and everything's through an app rather than like how Windows is and stuff like that. So yeah,
and I remember you saying that it was more like an iPhone, which I've had iPhones in the past for work and stuff. So I went into it with that attitude, and it was a lot easier to learn other than trying to think about me on my computer. So
yeah, well, you're not having to look over here when you talk to me today.
That's right. Yeah, I got more of a direct. That's the only thing I can't figure out with it. I can't figure out how to put my screen up yet. I didn't have time to mess with that. I don't really need it tonight. So,
man, I cleaned my my screen and my camera. You know, your camera's right here at the top of your screen. And, I cleaned it off, man. I look good.
Yeah, heck yeah.
It's clear. It looks real clear. I noticed it's kind of fuzzy last week, and I was like, man, I need to clean all this stuff off the screen. So,
yeah,
whatever. Got it all cleaned up.
I'm not lying to you guys tonight. I have a pretty bad headache. I'm on the day 2 of a fast, so I'm kind of out of it. But
are you fasting for church, or are you just fasting to fast?
No. Well, I'm Lutheran. We don't fast.
Okay, I don't know all this.
No, I'm just joking. It's just a Lutheran thing. I'm just being funny. Like we drink beer in our church basement and stuff. So
okay.
It's a Lutheran joke thing. But
yeah, you're getting fuzzy here.
What do you mean?
You're fuzzy looking on my end.
Oh, yeah, my internet's been kind of slow, so just had to bear with me. I had Maddie
It's all
turn
right.
her internet off, but
I think everybody knows what you look like.
yeah, um, it'll kick back up again, or it should at least.
Yeah.
Um, but
So
anyway,
what are you
man.
fasting for?
Oh, I'm doing this. So I made a video yesterday, I guess, about it, but I did I'm doing this like it's a health boot camp thing this summer. My sister in law is like a health coach or I don't know what you call them. I guess nutritionist. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Maddie did it last summer and like really helped her a lot just with her just everything. Just she didn't do it for losing weight. It's not the video I made it sound like it's a weight loss thing. That's a side effect of it, but it's
Yeah.
more for like resetting your like getting rid of all the toxins in your liver and in your gut and all that.
That's right. We talked about that last week. You were telling me you're going to do something with that.
Yeah, I can't wear a hat tonight, fellas. My head
Your
hurts.
head?
Yeah, um I just got a headache. Probably from
Yeah.
the lack of caffeine. I'm a slave to caffeine. So
Do you have to give up caffeine for your fast too?
you're supposed to limit yourself greatly. So
Oh,
I
and I
drink a
know
cup
how
of
you do
coffee
the
every
coffees,
morning.
man. I
Oh man,
see. Yeah, he puts away those coffees. He gives what Zach Farrenball a run for your money on the coffee.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing that, and then I'll start. This is the liver one's only a week, and then the gut health one is 3 months long.
Right. Huh. Well,
So
so have you not eaten anything in 2 days, or have you just eaten very
there's
little?
some there's a shake that you have to drink 4 degrees. The shake is
Oh, so you're nothing.
yeah, and then water.
You know, when I was on the carnivore, which I'm going to get back on tomorrow, um, man, there was a one time I went 2 days without eating, and I felt great.
On
Like,
purpose?
yeah, no, I just wasn't hungry. I just literally was. So yeah, on purpose. I just wasn't hungry, and for 2 days, I didn't eat a thing. And I was
Hmm.
like, man, this is weird. I'm not. It just, and I always fasted one day out of the week when I was on the carnivore. I'd fast on Saturdays. So from like 7 Friday to 7 Saturday, I wouldn't eat a thing.
You
I
think it
felt
was
good
it?
too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I never, some people said they got a headache, and I've tried other diets where you eliminate all your carbs and stuff, but for some reason this diet didn't do it to me. I felt good
Yeah, yeah,
ever since I began.
yeah. No, it's not a weight loss thing. It's more of a I'm trying to just my liver's probably not great because of all the energy drinks and coffee and all that crap.
Well, whatever, man.
What?
You probably got a great liver. They probably give you an A+ on your liver for if they were to score them for transplants. You're young, man.
Hope so.
You
I
got
don't
a
really
fatty
drink. I
liver.
mean, I'll have a drink occasionally, but not very often.
Yeah, I don't really drink either. Just
Just
water.
sometimes. Um, but the big one is the gut health one. That one will help. That one will help a lot. That one really helped Maddie. She felt like a new person after that, and all of her inflammation, her body and stuff was taken care of. And anyways, yeah, that video. I did that video yesterday, and man, there was like a lot of hate for it for some reason. It was kind of weird,
Man,
but
everybody's hating. Hate's running
dude,
rampant.
this has been a rough week for me. Like I've had more negative stuff on this channel this week than I have in the entirety of the rest of the channel.
Yeah.
Um, just I feel bad for John Eberhart, like having to like field the questions that or the comments that came in on that show was it depressed me. I was just like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, look, man. Half the people probably making those comments wish they had one of his bucks on their wall, or got to see a third of the stuff he saw in his lifetime. And you
Yeah,
can learn
I
stuff
mean
from anybody.
the thing that bothers me is just like, man, yeah, the guy's not perfect. We all know how John is. Like he's not a perfect human being. Dan Infalt's not a perfect human being. I'm sure not a perfect human being.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, man, if the guy's a little bit arrogant or whatever, everybody has a problem with him. Like, yeah, well, you're fat, or what do you know? I don't know. You know what I mean? I was just like, and then Huck got made fun of at the pool the other day because of his eye being crossed, and I just been like, dude, this world sucks, man.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get those. I hate it. I get in those moods too, where it just seems like I don't know. I'm pretty tough being an ex-police officer, and stuff like that with life. But man, I don't, sometimes when you get criticized and it's kind of like, or something happens like what you're talking about, it's like, man, and especially when there's a roll of it, like I've had things happen with work like twice in a week, and I've just been like, man, it's just not going my way. But, I mean, it'll pass. I think about John is man, I even have emailed John Eberhart and asked him questions. And dude, he is the nicest guy. Spends his time emailing you back, regardless of how much he thinks he's right. It's right. He's right for him. And he's probably right in a lot of ways that could help a lot of hunters. If you just take a little bit of what he says and apply it, he's like I said, I've emailed him before, man. He shot right back at an email and sent me some other stuff, some links I didn't even ask for, so that's how I measure a person, more so than their outward thing. Plus, man, I'm from Southern, man. He's a Yankee. They come off that way.
Oh, 100%, 100%,
he's from up north, man. They don't mean anything by it. They just come off that way, especially if you're a Southerner like us. We're like, what? Because we're always, supposed to be, Southern hospitality. So people from up north are a little bit more harsh in the way they speak and sometimes more opinionated, but it doesn't mean they're wrong or they're bad,
People up north are much more cutthroat with the way they go about things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to offend people up north. Like, it's not always a bad thing to be direct like that. Sometimes that's needed. But like when I worked in the ag industry, like going up to, I travel over the country every week, and it was much different going to like ride with people from the South and going to customers than it was like in the North. It was different, man. People would just had this thing about them. I don't know.
Yeah. Real fast.
Like I said, sometimes the South people were a little too relaxed and they didn't work. It's just like I said, everybody has their thing. And it's like, I don't know why you feel like you gotta get on YouTube and tell everybody about what everybody else's problems are. It's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things. Well, I think you and I have done it before. So we kind of, have gone on there and maybe or at least thought about it and been opinionated and then going, oh, maybe I shouldn't write that. And then we don't do it. And so it ends up, some people just don't have self-control. Not everybody, including myself, a lot of the times is responsible enough for the internet.
Yeah.
But just it is what it is, man. Just remember, you're not responsible for anybody's happiness, and you can't help what people say. So don't take it all on your shoulders.
Right. Yeah, they had we can talk about it because he said it on here. Like, people had a huge, like, one guy just could not get over the fact that John cuts limbs on public land.
Okay.
I mean, he was like, all of his books need. I mean, he commented 40 times about this, and I'm just like, wow. He was like spamming the videos. I'm just like,
maybe it was from one of those. What was it? Hillary Clinton said those Mesopotamian bot farms or whatever it was.
Yeah,
that she said back in the 2016 election. Maybe that's what it was, a bot farm.
Yeah,
I don't know. Heck, I cut limbs on public land. I mean, I did. I'm not going to go cut a tree down on public land, but I mean, if you,
right,
I mean,
in Indiana,
I don't make a habit of it, but
or in certain states, it's like a 1 inch or less. You can cut it off at the trunk, and there's all kinds of different rules.
It's good for the tree.
Anyways, I just say all that because it's like, I think where, like Stan mentioned a second ago, John's a liar. I don't think he's as big as a liar as you think he is. I don't know. I think people hate him because he tells how, he doesn't lie about it. Like he tells people, yeah, I cut limbs on public land. Like everybody freaking does that, dude. Are you there?
Yeah. Oh, I'm here. I'm listening.
It's like, but people just don't say it on the internet or they act like they don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where John, he's just so direct and so like, this is how it is. He doesn't, I don't know. That's where he, maybe that's,
when you get to be 73, the older you get, the less you care about what people think. And you just say what you think. So I thought it was good. I always like watching John's interviews. I think they're, he's really good at explaining things. He's been in the industry for a long time too. So he's good at, and he's killed a lot of deer in a really tough state to kill deer. Michigan's not easy to kill those kind of deer in. And, I think for him too, and I'm not speaking because I don't know him, but I know how I am. sometimes, and I think he has a real sense of pride about the way that he hunts deer, that a lot of people wouldn't take the time to put in the effort that he puts in to kill these deer. And I think that's what, what do you call it? Trips his trigger. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, that's what makes him feel like he's just a step ahead of some people that aren't willing to do the work, which in my opinion, he is. So,
yeah. And I think people also forget, like, dude, he's 73. He's not going to change his ways. Like, he's going to hunt outside. He's going to use scent lock. He's going to, it's like, just leave him alone, guy. Like, golly.
Yeah. Well, everybody gets in their tribes,
Yeah.
and of course, a lot of your viewers are used to Dan, and, Dan's not a scent guy, right? So they're loyal to him, and maybe they've listened and learned a lot of what Dan has said on the podcast before, which is great information. I personally don't worry about scent either. I used to, but I figured out, I mean, to me, it's kind of common sense. I don't think you can beat it. Now, John Eberhart would argue with me that you can, and his track record's pretty daggum good when it comes to killing mature deer. And I'm not going to argue with a guy that has been doing the same routine. Now, he is meticulous. I am not going to do that to go kill a whitetail deer. I'm just,
you can tell he's a routine guy. Like, everything he talked about, I even like in general life, I could tell, like, he's like, I get up every morning and I weigh myself. And if I weigh this, I do that. Like, he has this thing where he must
honestly, that when y'all were talking about his weight, and he was talking about, if I get up to 160, I stop eating, like, that trick with me, I was like, dang, that's a pretty good way to think about it. You get up every morning, weigh yourself. Oh, I'm getting a little heavy. I've eaten too much. I need to back off food for a week.
Yeah,
and it's probably just that easy when you're on that, trajectory up just a hair. Yeah. When you're like, oh, I'm always right at this weight. Oh, I've ticked up. Because when you get older, and you'll see, Josh, when you get older, like my age, and I can't imagine his age, you don't lose fat like you did when you were younger, and you can't just eat whatever you want. I did this carnivore diet. I lost 33 pounds. I got down to 227, which is, a good size for me with, I mean, you've been around me from my lifting and stuff.
You're big boned.
Yeah, I'm not fat. I'm not fat at 227. No. I am fat at 260. But man, I started eating, and I watched the scale go up and come back down. Well, it just started going up and kind of stabilized, and then up a little bit more. Now I'm up to 238. First thing in the morning. So I heard him say that, and that kind of made me go, that's a good idea. When you see your weight start getting up, just don't eat a whole lot for 2 or 3 days, and kind of let it come down. So, that dude's in good shape, man. I mean, you look at him, you can tell he lifts weights. He's got a chest. He's 73 years old and gets out there with the young guys. I mean, hey, I hope I'm doing that when I'm his age. I can tell you that much.
Stan, you're not gonna get in trouble, man. I don't disagree with you. I think he's a harsh person, and I think, he could go about it different. I think he just gets a lot of weird hate, man. And I guess, I don't know. Yeah, we can just stop talking about it. I just know. I mean, I don't know. I know everybody, like all these people that are YouTube famous personally, and it's like I don't know. They're all characters on this freaking internet. Like, everybody's kind of lying to you. Like, nobody's actually who they are on the YouTube. Like, whether you want to think they are or not, it's like I'm different. My wife knows me different than you guys do. Like, I'm not. I don't know. You don't know someone because you watch them on
tell
YouTube.
Everybody you're pretty much like you are. You're a good dude. I mean, you're like one of my wife. Even we were talking about it today, and we're like, man, he's just such a great guy. He really is. Now me, I'm probably this is all fake. No, I'm just kidding. This is pretty much how I am. I mean, he's been around me. I'm not any different. I'm not great. I'll admit my flaws, but hunters are very arrogant. It's something that I mean, I've been around hunting. Like, I used to work at a sporting goods store from 15 to 21, and I managed it. And so I was around all kind of really good hunters from my area. And one thing they all had in common is they were all the best hunters in the area. You know what I'm saying? So I think YouTube, the guys that are really good and spend a lot of time at this, and this is their passion, like John, like Dan, I just mentioned them because they're the first two names that really come off the top of my head. Let's go for Bill Winky. Some of these guys, they're really competitive, when it comes to, I mean, heck, the lone wolf guys. I mean, they really come off of that, but they know a lot of stuff and they can probably help you out. They probably will. They're just, it's some people take this like a competition, and this is what they love to do, and they're serious. And I think a lot of us can admire that passion, but I guess it turns some people off. But just let it roll off your skin, man.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, so my week, I've just been like, what the fuck am I even doing this for? It's like,
nah, don't forget, we got a bigger purpose with this show, and heck, man, you got a great deal going on, and everybody, I mean, very blessed. You do a good job, so I wouldn't worry about it.
I don't think so. Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, I can come on.
What else been happening, Patrick? Anything good?
Oh, nothing. Drove down the road this afternoon, checked on my boys back here, my turkeys, and I got last night we went to go get some food, or 2 or 3 days ago, and we cut food behind the house on the turkey loop I took you on.
Yeah,
and there were a couple of hens just kind of hanging right by the road in some short grass, and I knew they had poults with them, but Brandy didn't want to stop. So tonight we went, and I made her stop. I said, "Stop!" So I got to see if these turkeys have poults. And sure did. They had a bunch of poults right up under them. It's 2 hens just hanging out They were staying in the same spot they were yesterday at the same time.
Really?
They had all their little poults feeding. You could see them running around. The grass is kind of tall, but they were kind of surprisingly big. I'd say they're probably 12 inches tall, probably with their head. When they stick their head straight up, they're probably around 12 inches tall, which is pretty big. And in the morning, I check every morning, go by there, and there's 8 or 9 jakes and 2 longbeards have been hanging out in those fields for the last month. So
that's good.
Got to check on them, and try to go pick some cameras up from my hunting club this weekend. And it's underwater, so couldn't do that. Kind of weird, but
yeah,
I'll get to it. I almost went to John's and put some out there, but I don't know. Getting a little, still a little early.
Yeah, we got time.
Yeah,
we got time. I
saw
some. Need to go. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I saw somebody on the Tennessee Deer Hunters Facebook page today put a picture of a video of a nice buck. Man, he was already an 8-point, and I had good time length. I mean, in velvet. I mean, if he was 9 in velvet, I mean, he's probably pushing 115, 120 inches right now. I feel like it's pretty early for that. Yeah, especially in Tennessee.
Me too. But
yeah,
we've got
he was good.
Me and my this last weekend, me and Huck went to the BHA's small game boot camp with Kevin Murphy. If you don't know who Kevin Murphy is, he's on the Meat Eater. He's on Meat Eater episodes quite frequently. He's like Steve's buddy that hunts squirrel dogs and whatnot. Anyways, say he's going to come on the show sometime. But anyway, me and Huck were down there, and my buddy Scott were talking. Scott was down there too, Scott Cronin, and he was saying that he thinks that the deer are just going to explode this year with all the moisture we had, and just things are looking good. So, and he's a pretty good judge of that usually.
Yeah, that's John says that too. When I talk to John, he likes a wet spring early for turkeys production. And I asked him why. He says when you have more moisture in the nest, it's just better for the eggs seem to do better incubating. And then also when we have wet years, it seems like your antler growth is a little bit above what it was the year before. So, and it's been cool this summer, really. I mean, I'm outside. It's,
not a lot of pressure on them.
Getting to be June, and I mean, it's not hot. It's going to be this week. So,
yeah. I mean, that cool weather is just good for them, man. It keeps the bugs down. They're not stressing. It was, man, they canceled. Huck's been doing swimming lessons every morning, and they canceled it this morning. It was too cold here to swim.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the temperature? What was the temperature like up there today?
I think the low was like 50 something.
Yeah. Okay. It was like 64 here when I left the house, which is pretty cool it felt great. Like it feels great right now. There's a nice little breeze, and try to knock out some work today. So,
I did too. I went out and messed around the yard for a little bit. Anyway, back to this diet thing I'm doing, because this is kind of the topic of tonight is what God says about how we treat our bodies. And I don't know, I did this video, started this thing like, oh, this will be a good topic for this week. And I feel like, and I said this last week with John about like how just America is really just horrible about the sin of glutton with food. You know, if you just go out to your local town and drive around and look around, think about how many people could, you know, run a mile or run a half mile, or I mean, you could probably count them on a hand sometimes.
Run from one of those Black Panthers that everybody sees all over the United States.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but on our Tennessee deer hunter thing, everybody's like, "What's this? I think I got one," and it'll be a black cat.
And a black
like,
cat.
Is this a panther? Because it's like a real close up, and the view looks like it's a lot bigger, and they freak out, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's a house cat." You know, what is this? Is this a cougar? No. So you got to be able to outrun cougars.
But one thing is everybody kind of knows. If you don't know, if you think sorry, I'm not thinking straight, but there's a saying that is in Corinthians that people probably have heard of. When I say a saying, I mean it's a verse in Corinthians. I'm going to get it up here so I can remember it off the top of my head. But it's Corinthians 6 and then 19 and 20. And this is the King James version, so it's a little bit of the, you know, the ye and the yea and all that's pretty heavy in this. But it says, "Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own. For ye are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, and which are God." And then Patrick sent me. We talked about that this morning. That's a little couple chapter or verses a lot of people know. But then Patrick sent me what was that? Is it a TikTok or?
I think it was an Instagram reel.
Surprisingly,
not a TikTok, because I'm on TikTok all the time.
Yeah, there was a guy. I think he was preaching. I don't know if he's a preacher or not.
No, he's a preacher.
And he was talking about how, you know, food is Satan's probably number one secret weapon for humanity. How, you know, food's probably killed more people in the world than anything else. And, you know, the very first temptation in Genesis was related to food, right? The apple. God, or the Christ's first temptation was related to food. And then like in Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 10, 31, it says, "Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do all in the glory of God." And like he was making the point, like they could have said anything at the first couple words there in verse 31. You know, they could have said, you know, read your Bible and do whatever ye do to the glory of God, but they chose to put in there eat and drink. And that's something that, man, I struggle with, is like glorifying God with what I consume. You know,
I was talking to Brandy when we were driving home, and I was telling her about that from getting food. I was telling her about the TikTok or reel I sent you today. And I asked her, I said, "What do you think that the devil's most powerful weapon is?" She said, "Oh, let me think." She's like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Food." And she was like, "Oh my God, you're right." And I was like, "Yeah, think about it." And I said things, you know, Adam and Eve and Jesus, and then just how food, you know, it's a big deal in the Bible. And I think one thing that I do, and I think a lot of us kind of make food somewhat of like our God. Some people do.
Oh yeah, man.
I know I look at it like I get home and I'm thinking, man, what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? One thing about when I went carnivore that was so cool is I didn't obsess over food all day. And I have a bad problem with obsessing over food because when I've always had a sweet tooth, but when I was bodybuilding, I always ate on a schedule, and it was always about food. My life revolved around food and training, and that was all I did. And I wasn't a pro bodybuilder or anything, so I'm not trying to make it out like that. But I was really serious for a long time. about my health, and everything did revolve around that. So now I find myself not bodybuilding anymore, which is something I probably need to go back to do, is weight training again. But I'm still just think about food all the time. When I'm hungry or in the afternoon, I'll be like, man, what am I going to eat when I get home? Or I'll start thinking about one of my favorite sweets that I like, and I'll go crazy and just, man, sometimes the other night I was laying in bed, man, it's like 9 o'clock, dude, and I was like, man, I'm really hungry. I want something sweet. Man, order some brownies from Domino's. Straight to the door, man. I got up and Brandy was asleep, and I got up and I went to the front door and opened it and looked, because it said my order was here, and I was like, my order's not here. So I called them. They're like, oh yeah, we said this, it'll be on its way. So I went and laid down. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, I just sent my brownies were here. She goes, your brownies? What are you talking about? And I was like, I ordered brownies from Domino's. She's like, whatever. So then at like 2 hours, it took 2 hours to get my brownies. And I was like, why do I even order these daggum things, man? You know? But it's like, I start obsessed about it, and I get it on my mind, and I'm like, I gotta get it. And it's like, food was not made for us to enjoy. It was made to, replenish our bodies and keep us healthy. And, through all this high fructose corn syrup and sugar and all these things that they found to make it more addictive, like, man, it's tough. It's really tough to control what we eat. For me, it is.
Yeah. There's a guy named John on here commenting a bunch of stuff. I don't know. John, are you saying we're wrong, or are you agreeing with us? Because I'm kind of confused, man. I don't think everybody has this problem either. Like, there's some people that, I think there's more people that have the problem than don't, but I think there's some people that really see food as a means of surviving, or what they eat, what they do. My dad's kind of like that. He just doesn't get a kick out of eating that much. He just, not something I don't think doesn't consume his mind or anything. But
right.
I'm not like that.
Yeah, God gave you this body, and I think that we take it for granted way too much, because if you look at, and I'm guilty of it, so I'm just saying, like, I'm bad about it. But if you look at,
dude, me too.
If you look at your body, right, and how perfectly it works, even people that aren't perfect, their body, that have some kind of a disorder or disease or something, like, it still works incredible. And to eat the stuff we eat knowing it's bad, or to do the things we do in excess, I'm sure they had sweets back in biblical times that they ate. I'm sure Jesus ate some kind of a sweet or something, but to go overboard with it the way that we do here in our country is bad.
To where it enables us to glorify God. Like, we die at we die at a young age. We have all these heart issues, diabetes, all that stuff
Right.
is all food related, and you're destroying your temple.
Yeah.
That your Holy Spirit lives in.
Yep. I've definitely got to do better at it. And I'm telling you, man, what John Eberhart said, like, that really clicked with me. I saw it's like the second or third time I said it, but how he watches his weight at his age, and how he said, didn't he say he just made a promise to himself or something, that he was not going to let himself get overweight because his dad was overweight or something like that he could do it, but he just made a pact, like, I'm not going to do it. And it's been disciplined about it. I think discipline is a big thing too.
Yeah.
That you can get from the Bible. And I was thinking about this when we were talking about certain, what do you call it? Certain things that it said in the Old Testament, like in Leviticus. There's a lot about how to eat and how to do all that, with your food, to glorify God, and to not kind of defile your body, and do hurt yourself with your food you eat, make yourself sick and stuff.
Here in the US, at least, like, man, our whole day is built around food, right? Like, in the morning, a lot of us are addicted to coffee, like I am, and then all you do about you think about at work, you think about, it's lunch break. That's what I got to take a break because I got to go eat.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you get a better lunch break? Like, you eat more or whatever.
Then you feel terrible.
Yeah. And then when you get home, it's what's going to be on the table for dinner. And I mean, I get people are saying like food isn't the issue. And I think you're probably right there. It's like it's a
It's
self-control thing.
100%.
But I'm saying we don't have self-control in this country. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you're right. It's a huge issue. And I do have an NIV Bible here. Somebody was saying I should get the NIV Bible out here. Yeah, I mean, it's not that. I mean, it's a different wording, but it's saying the exact same thing. Obviously.
Yeah, I saw something too. I saw somebody talking about diabetes on here, and I saw too today where Gary Brecka was talking about that Alzheimer's and dementia are in other countries called type 3 diabetes. That it's actually a way your insulin affects your brain or something like that, or how much insulin uptake you have in the brain. And that can give you Alzheimer's just from your diet alone, So, I mean, that might be something to think up too. I mean, your diet affects everything.
Yeah,
I know.
Alzheimer's runs in my family.
Yeah, I felt awful the last 3 weeks since I got off my carnivore diet, and I felt amazing on the carnivore diet. And it's just such a simple diet. You don't even have to think about what you're going to do. There's no thinking about your food. You know you're going to eat this, and like every day. And I'm okay being in a routine too of every day eating this, the same foods every day, because I used to do that when I lifted. So, I think it goes down to routine on everything with, reading your Bible. I think will help you if you're connected tight. It'll help you from the temptations in your life that you're trying not to, that you're trying to stay away from, the things that are your weak point, as far as your thing that you have little discipline on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know how we got, I guess it's so crazy to think that like in our country, it's a blessing to have what we have as food, and we kind of turned it into a curse for us,
Mm-hmm.
I think like statistically speaking, we throw away more food than some countries like consume in a year.
Yeah. I think to tell you something will blow your mind.
Okay.
So Dylan, who works for me, he's been working at Chick-fil-A. He's quitting because he just does not like working in fast food, which is probably most people. He'd rather cut grass. Anyway, he's 16. He'll be 17 in a few months or in a month or so. Anyway, he was telling me how much food they throw away at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's bags of chicken. And I'm like, so we like give steroids, to all these chickens to get them big and fat really fast. Then we slaughter them, which is disgusting. Those places are disgusting anyway. Then we send them out to Chick-fil-A to make millions of dollars, and then they throw it away. And they can't, like I said, well, can they not take it to like a homeless shelter? He said no. And I don't know if that has a health department thing where they can't, if they said if a chicken, like a piece of chicken sits on the little hot table or whatever for more than 20 minutes, it's gone. They have to throw it away. So much waste in this country, and
yeah, that's a government issue. It is. It's government getting involved in food, and I get it. Like, maybe they're
probably a regulation.
It is. Yeah, I know those people don't want to throw that food away, dude. That's cutting into their bottom line. There's no way they want to throw that in, but they probably have to, or else they get shut down. I mean,
they're probably right. I mean, they get to write all that off too, so it's probably not as harmful to their business as you would think. But I'm just like, why don't they take a bunch of that chicken to the homeless shelters or something? Because you think about it, like you really think that someone that's struggling to get a meal wouldn't want some delicious Chick-fil-A, even if it was like an hour old? I mean, it's not bad as long as it's not been sat in the sun. But I mean, that's just another thing. It's just wasteful. Like all the stuff in our country, we just waste so much stuff. And when he told me that, I was like, man. And that's a Christian company. I think they've gotten infiltrated too, but with stuff. But
they make good chicken.
Their chicken sandwiches pretty good. Man, pretty much everything there. And the service is like, I've only been to Chick-fil-A one time where I was like, man, this service was terrible. Like, usually everybody's got a smile and all that stuff.
They really got it figured out as far as if you're going to be a fast food joint, it seems like.
Yeah.
You're always in and out pretty quick. It's always super busy, and all the. I mean, they always have all the workers seem fairly happy.
Oh, they're all happy. They get paid really well too for what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I think he was getting paid like $14 an hour just to work in the kitchen, like, I don't know, butter and biscuits and just doing chicken stuff. Whatever that looks like.
Yeah. I think Robert Myers is caught him. I think you're right, dude. Because I worked in the ag industry on the food side, like on the animal production side, and it's ridiculous what you had to go through and, you know, what you have to throw away if it's a certain, like you said, Patrick, timing, and all that. So
that's what I figured it was, what Robert said. I figured that's what it was, but it's just messed up that they can't even give it. You know, the government gets in there and goes, you know, we got starving people out here and we can't even give the food away, or, you know, some of this delicious chicken sandwich. I hadn't had one since last year. As long as I've been, man, I've given that place. If I had all the money I spent on Chick-fil-A, man, I'd probably have a 1,000-acre farm right now.
Oh yeah, we don't have one near
yard.
us, so it's kind of a treat when I go to one. We don't have one close to us.
Oh, they're everywhere.
I used to hunt a spot over by Bloomington, and I'd have to drive by one on the way home every night, and I'd grab me a Chick-fil-A. I'd get me a crispy chicken sandwich on the way home with some Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah.
Dang, son.
Yeah. Quit talking. I'll have to go get me one.
Me and Patrick will eat ice cream by the end of this thing.
Yeah. No. We'll have chips and pizza, and we'll be eating it like, don't eat all this food. We're doing it for you. We're trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there is nothing in life like more frustrating than being in shape and then getting out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is very frustrating to do that.
Yeah, when I got down to 227, man, I was like, oh my God, let's keep this going. Then I started getting, you know,
the devil got to you, man.
He got me, man. The snake come up and offered me that apple, and I was like, they actually offered me Reese's cups, and I was like, I like Reese's cups, dude.
And then all of a sudden, I'm ordering cookies from Domino's at night.
Yeah, I'm getting from Domino's at 10:30 at night. There's a problem. My neighbor, he'll sit there, and I'll go over to his house, and he's older, but him and his wife are always home, so they know everything that goes on at my house, man. And he'll tell me, yeah, I've seen that Domino's pulling up to your house lately. I'm like, dang it, man. And every time I order, I'm like, man, Jerry's gonna know I ordered Domino's.
He's gonna say something to me.
I'm like, he's gonna say something about the Domino's today. I'm like, gosh, dang it. My friend came over yesterday, and he's a sheriff out here, and he was my FTO when I was a police officer. And he pulled up. He's sitting in front of my house, and I saw my neighbor outside, kind of looking, nosy neighbors, And so he pulls up in the driveway. And I was like, man, I wish he'd come around here, because I was just going to sit and just like point back at him, and be like, yeah, talking to my friend and point like we're talking about him. He'd come over here and be like, what are y'all doing? What's going on over here? Oh, nothing, man. Just call the cops on you. That's all. But
yeah,
the boat sold the boat.
No, you didn't, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think I got a kid coming to pick it up Friday. He said he got the loan and everything today. He's been texting me for 2 days, so 2 or 3 days. So.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe I can use the money to get me a personal trainer, show me how to lift weights again.
There you go.
No.
Yeah. That's what I think like I said, I think people took that video yesterday wrong about like this was some weight loss program. It's not. It's like get your mind and your hormones and all that back to where it needs to be. Cleanse your body of all the junk you've been eating. And then the service, what you're really paying for is she checks up on you every day. Like, how's it going? How do you feel? Do you need anything? Just like questions. What are you eating today? It's like a kind of a buddy to have. Yeah. Accountability, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. I did real good when I did a show. I had a coach, and you just don't want to let them down. So every time I'd go in, it's like every 4 weeks at the beginning. And then it was like every 2 weeks closer towards the show. But, you check your body fat and see what you come down and how much fat you lost and muscle you've kept and all that. And it was pretty cool, but you never want to go in there and, just look like you just trashed it. So it makes it a lot easier to stay on your diet when you know you got somebody, you know, that you got to be accountable to. You know, we ought to do some kind of weight loss thing. So we like a
accountability.
Accountability.
Every week, we got
Yeah.
to check in on our every episode. Check in on our weight. What's our weight right now?
Who can lose the most weight in a month? You know.
Yeah, dude, you're way bigger than me.
Well, I got a lot of weight to lose, so I beat you. I'm rigging it, man.
Dude, you're not gonna believe me this, but I weighed 214 yesterday morning.
No way.
I weighed yeah, but I think it was a little bit. I mean, dude, Sunday, because I knew I was doing this cleanse, I ate freaking ice cream and pizza. I mean, I went all out.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was already down to 207 right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's probably all that water weight inflammation, which have been 2 days now. So it's been almost 2 days, pretty much.
Yeah, sorry, Sunday is when I weighed, or Monday morning, whatever.
When I started the carnivore, man, I mean, I
lost percentage of weight loss. I'd rather do that.
Yeah. There you go. When I lost that weight on the carnivore, I mean, I lost 18 pounds in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
like insane. And I think it's fluid. I think the food we eat so bad for us that we retain all that fluid in our body and inflammation. And it's just when you cleanse your body, it goes away. You just lose that fluid first, you know, and then you kind of get down to where you start losing fat. Took a little while.
Yeah.
Goes to get fat after a wife and baby. You should be double fat. Now you got 2 babies.
Yeah. That's why I saw a picture of me in 2017. I was like, gosh, man, I let myself go. Like, and I'm not out.
Was that your elk pictures you put up today?
Yeah. And I'm not cool. Compared to, I mean, I'm sitting here acting like I'm some 300-pound, 5'5" guy. Like, I'm 6 foot, 205 pounds. Like, I'm not, I can bench press 300 pounds and all that. Like, I'm not out of shape. I could do 15 pull-ups in a row, but I'm just, I don't know, just compared to what I usually am, it's not great.
Yeah, if you don't stay on top of it, you lose it really quick.
Yeah.
That's one thing, like, especially when you get older, it's better to just try to stay in a routine the closer you get to 40 and then just to 50 and so on. That way you just never lose it. It's hard though, man, especially, I don't know what happened to me, man. I was like die hard, for 15 years.
Oh, me too.
Just got tired of it.
Me too. I mean, that's whenever I was, I was a fat kid. Like, I was fat when I was a kid. And then when I got to high school, I found weightlifting and really by the time I graduated school, I was in really, really good shape, And then from, in college, I continued to lift weights and got even better shape, and I was very, in very good shape. I mean, and these numbers mean nothing to some people, but like, you'll understand, Patrick, and probably some people listen, like, I weighed 180 and I could bench press 225 like 15 times in a row. Mm-hmm. I was very strong for my size and just felt really good, in good shape. And then up to about 2017, and then I kind of just, I don't know, man. Like you said, there was 12 years there of nothing but being disciplined and working out and eating good, and then it's like you let that go, dude, and it just feels like a mountain to get back to that.
Yeah, but it's not. What's crazy is
I know.
So last summer, just for a brief period, when you came up here to hunt velvet, I was on my routine. I was doing good. Yeah. I think something happened. I think my shoulder got hurt or something was bothering me. Maybe my knee or something. I don't know what it was. But anyway, it was enough to give me the excuse to go, man, I need to check out. And deer season's approaching. That's always been a hard time for me to stay consistent in the gym is when deer season gets here. But, 6 weeks, I was back. I wasn't nearly as strong as I had been before, but I was back to, I'd say, man, probably 70% of my size I was before, and in my upper body. My knee was hurting me so bad I wasn't able to train legs like I'd like to. But
yeah, my knee's messed up right now too.
Yeah, it comes back super quick. And then right now I'm dealing with a sore shoulder. So I don't know where that came from. It just started hurting about 3 weeks ago, and it's been driving me nuts. Just wait. You'll get there. All these older guys over here will know what I'm talking about in the comments.
Yeah.
When you hit 40, it can be like overnight. Like, man, where did that pain come from?
Yeah. So that's where I'm at in life right now. I'm aggravated with the internet. I'm fat.
Got a headache.
I got a headache.
You can't eat. You can't eat anything.
Can't eat anything. I can eat tomorrow.
Well, I ate Chinese tonight. So
that's good for you, Patrick.
Yeah, I'll hold another 5 pounds from the monosodium glutamate or whatever they make that stuff in that people get allergic to.
Dude, I haven't been to a good Chinese buffet in a long time.
Yeah, we didn't do the buffet. We just got General Tso's and a little fried rice, But I mean, tomorrow, as soon as some groceries that we shouldn't have bought, we bought the other day are gone, then Reese's cups.
Yeah.
As soon as my white chocolate enemy Reese's cups are gone, then I'm going to the meat market tomorrow, grabbing me some ribeyes and going back on. I'm curious to see how long it will take me to get what I put back on off. I wonder if it'll come right off because it's just water, or if it'll take me another month or so.
Yeah. What's your ideal weight then? Like, what would you be?
Honestly, I mean, if I could be back 80% of what I was when I was heavy into my bodybuilding, size wise, but down around 10 or 11% body fat, I'd be happy. So that probably looked like something like 220. I think I'd be happy. Like, it's weird because I'm 5'9.5" barefooted, right? So, like, that's big for 5'9.5".
Yeah.
I mean, 220 pounds, any way you stack it, is big. And when my walk around weight when I was at my heaviest was close to 250, at 11, 12% body fat. So to think about walking around like that now, it's just uncomfortable. Like, I look at guys that are like your size, like, you're not skinny, you're just a healthy looking guy, right? Like, I look at your guy, like, man, I'd like to be like a little bit. I don't want to be lean and just super thin. Like, I'm 160, like John Eberhard. I would feel like I was dead. Like, I couldn't even imagine being that small. I don't even think under 200 pounds. I don't think I could ever get back under 200 pounds. At least not until I get old and start losing muscle. But 220 probably be cool. If I could be like super shredded lean, probably 210, 215. I know I looked really good when I was competing. For a while, I was at 217 at like 7% body fat. And that was probably, I looked pretty good then, but I was still coming down. And when I competed,
dude,
like,
you were 7% body fat.
Yeah, the week after my show, though, when I got down to my leanest and then came back, I was at 225, full as a house, and like probably 10% body fat, 225. I just don't want to weigh over 220. That's the joints and everything. I think there's a happy medium where you can have a certain degree of muscle and still be somewhat endurant, and flexible and able to do the things you like to do. And that's more where the range I'd like to be in than muscle bound. I was like, man, if I could get up to 300 pounds of muscle, I wouldn't have cared back in the day. But I just, health wise and for your heart and stuff, it's just not good.
No. I'd like to get back down to, I graduated high school. I was like 170, 175.
Yeah.
I'd like to get down to like 185. I think that's where I would feel good. And that's where I've been at in the past, and I felt good,
It's probably a good weight.
Yeah.
For you, for your size.
Yeah. And if I keep lifting and get down to that weight, I'll be in good shape again. Something else and just know, I didn't know Patrick when he was younger, but he was obviously extremely into working out. I was extremely into working out. I think whenever you've had the past of being in really good shape, it's a little easier to get back to there. If I'm not mistaken, right? Like, you can.
No, you have muscle memory. So if you're like, the body fat's the body fat, but like, my body can recomposition. If I was to go on the carnivore and eat when I'm hungry, so I'd probably eat more than I did before, because I lost that 33 pounds doing nothing. Like, absolutely just getting up, drinking my coffee, doing my work, but not even really. I mean, I was doing some mulch, and I had to throw a lot of mulch this spring by myself. So that probably helped. But Like if I started really lifting weights, my body would just change drastically. Like the fat would just start. Well, it used to. I don't know about now because I'm almost 45. So I know that my body changes pretty quick. So, you can recomp. I think lifting weights is honestly the best way to burn body fat because you burn the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn when you're at rest.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for the summer. I'm ready to get back down to my healthy weight and feel good about myself. I think and this is something I guess it's probably psychological, but like being a fat kid, like I got made fun of when I was a kid, when I was, and all that. And I'm self-conscious about my body. So it's probably a little bit of that too,
Yeah.
I'm not as bad anymore. I mean, I'm not.
You and every other woman on the internet.
Yeah.
Self-conscious. You got to take those pictures, where you turn to the side and like hold the camera out here. Or
yeah.
up. My wife always makes me hold the camera up. She says it makes her look thinner or something. So I always, when you take a selfie, whatever, dude. I just take pictures. I look horrible
that's like I could really give two craps about that. It's like probably some kind of a mental thing I have where it's like I feel like I need to be a certain weight because I was fat as a kid, but I was like the same size I am now as a kid.
I went through that little spurt like that when I was like 14 or 15, and then my boss said I was where I was working at Buck and Bass. I asked him, I was like, man, I think I'm going to run. He's like, man, you need to start lifting, pumping that iron. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I'll write you out a program. And he wrote me out a program, and then that was it. Man, I fell in love with it. Like I said, I still follow it to this day. I was watching a podcast earlier with a bodybuilder on it, I'm still very much, that's probably my very close second favorite thing to do other than hunt.
Yeah. You follow along with it pretty close still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I was fat from like age 6 to whatever, 14, probably 15. And then I found the weight room. Honestly, to be honest with you, I found John Cena. Like I started watching wrestling a lot with friends, and that got me motivated to become like, man, I'd like to look like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're the same way, right? You were
it was mine was I saw Jean-Claude Van Damme in a movie, and I was like, dude, that dude's ripped. And it was like one of his movies where he's a little bigger in. I don't know if it might have been like Double Impact. All the movies back then had like 2-word names. And we were talking like Seagal had like 3-word names, like Out for Justice, Hard to Kill, Fire Down Below. We were talking about that at dinner the other night with the friends that we went out with. What were some of the other ones he had? Mark for Death. Yeah, all those 3 words.
That's and then hilarious.
And then Van Damme had like 2-word names, like Time Cop. What was another one? Hard Target was one of them. God, he had so many. That one Double Impact where he played himself as a twin. That was a good movie. I always liked watching that one back in the day. Under Siege. There you go. That's another Seagal movie.
Oh, that's
he used to live here. Seagal, Lionheart. Look at Robert. He knows all of them too. My parents used to watch those movies, man. My dad loved Steven Seagal, and my dad got to meet him when he worked at Bass Pro Shops. Like my dad retired and worked at Bass Pro Shops. He sold him a gun because he lived in Collierville here close by.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and his kid was going to St. Jude because his kid had cancer. Now, if you want to meet him, you got to go to Russia, Moscow, where he lives. He's a Russian citizen now.
Mushroom Matt, man, he's naming off too.
Oh, I love those movies. On Deadly Ground. Yeah. On Deadly Ground. I forgot that is a 3-word one. Yeah, On Deadly Ground. Yeah, when he wore the Indian stuff. That's when I think he wore was that On Deadly Ground or Fire Down Below? I don't remember where he had he's wearing the Indian jacket and stuff.
That was a bunch of 80s stuff I wasn't thought of yet.
No, it was like late 80s, early 90s. Like what he's talking about, like Fire Down Below and On Deadly Ground, they were like mid 90s.
Oh, were they? I didn't watch
Bullet to the Head. That was another one. Bullet to the Head. The kids are great, man. I asked somebody the other day. I've been doing the who's on your Mount Rushmore of 80s action superheroes, or who's your wrestling Mount Rushmore, your 4 wrestling Mount Rushmores and stuff.
Who's your 4?
Which one?
Wrestling. I don't. Wrestling? I don't know money. I mean, I was in the Sylvester Stallone and Chuck Norris a little more than those two.
Yeah, well, my buddy put Chuck Norris and Sly. You got to put Schwarzenegger up there. Forget. I think his was Seagal or Van Damme was like the fourth. That was probably Seagal. Probably Seagal, Van Damme. I didn't watch Chuck Norris much. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly. Those are probably my from the 80s. As far as wrestlers, man, probably be Andre would probably go up there because you can't not talk about wrestling, not talk about Andre the Giant.
Are you talking about your era of wrestling or just in general wrestling?
I'm talking about all of them. If you took all of them, which there's a lot of good ones, right? I'd probably put Andre up there. Stone Cold would go up there for sure. Ric Flair would go up there.
Yeah.
And probably the Undertaker would go up there. Can't think of anybody. Man, it'd be hard between him and Hulk Hogan, man. Because Hulk Hogan was I'd probably have to put Hulk Hogan because he was America, man. He was America back in the 80s. You know, yeah. I'd probably put him up there. That's probably What about you?
Oh, for me, well, I would put. I mean, not first, but John Cena would be up there for me because that was whenever I started watching it. So he had a lot of impact on he was the man back whenever I was watching it. When I started watching it. Stone Cold and probably the Undertaker. I get why people say Ric Flair and like Hulk Hogan and all those, but I just if you're asking me, that's who influenced me, or I don't know if they influenced me, but that's who I like the most.
Yeah, when I look at the best of the best, man, there's been some good ones, but like those
Bushwhackers, yeah, dude, that's what we should do. Just start naming wrestlers here that you liked.
Yeah, we all do. Look, so this is our thing. This is what we should do for the podcast. Everybody gets their target deer. They have to name it after a wrestler. They have to name their target deer after a wrestler.
Cactus Jack coming out of
the Hoosier National. Here he comes, Randy Orton. This is the buck we call Randy
RKO.
Orton. Yeah. Here he is, Haku. You remember Haku?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's Scotty Too Hottie. Oh, Scotty Too Hottie. He kind of has a small body. But...
Oh yeah, Scotty Too Hottie. So Scotty Too Hottie got arrested on the midnight shift after I got off work one night, right down the street from the precinct.
No way.
Yeah, public intox. Yeah.
You got to meet a bunch of them, didn't you, when they come from Memphis, since you're a police officer or bouncer or whatever you did?
Yeah. I met the Big Show. He is humongous, man. When I tell you his hands, I mean, if you took and tried to shake Hayes's hand, that's what your hand would be like in the sides of his hand. It's just like my hand just hid in his palm. Huge guy. I've stood next to John Cena at the time. This is back in 2006. We're about the same size at the time. I might have been a little bigger than him, actually. He's not as tall as they bill him out to be. He's like 5'10", maybe.
Yeah.
Now
he was like my size.
He was I'd say he's probably 215. Now he was a specimen, man. But I mean, I
didn't mean he's probably my height. That's what I meant.
Yeah. He's not super tall. Carlito, you remember Carlito?
Oh yeah, Carlito, cool.
Carlito, cool.
Spit it back in your face.
Kid Rock, met Kid Rock.
That's a rock star, Patrick.
Yeah, I know, but he's still. I mean, America, baby.
I got you.
All right, let me go back to my wrestlers. They all came in there though, and like a lot of them were from here. I had a guy; he was an old Memphis wrestler. I'd be surprised if anybody knows this guy, but it was Brickhouse Brown. He's old school, 70s, 80s, old school wrestler. He tried to get me to come and train under him to be a wrestler when I was bouncing. And I was like, no, I don't. It's not really my thing. I'll just watch it. Golly, who else came in there, man? They all used to come in there. They'd come to town and, that's where they go.
Yeah.
The church. But, I met those guys. Met Lou Diamond Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
I met him before. He is a little bitty guy. He's like 5'5". He's so tiny.
Really?
Oh, Dale Earnhardt, another little bitty tiny guy. Dale Jr.
Yeah.
He's a little bitty guy,
Dale
too.
Jr.?
Yeah, Dale Jr.'s a little bit. His dad was small, too, I think. I don't like maybe
a lot of those racers are small. I mean,
he's like maybe 5'6".
Yeah.
Little bitty dude.
I don't think those NASCARs are really built for great big guys, you know.
No, what was the other? Oh yeah, when I don't know if you remember these. Did they have them up there in Indiana? Central Hardware.
Mm-mm.
Did they have those? There was a hardware store down south here. It was a big chain, kind of before Home Depot came into being, and they had like a show or trade show or something at one of the convention centers here. And when I was like 8, I got to take a picture. 8 or no, it's probably 10. I don't know. Anyway, I got to take a picture on the Ultimate Warrior's lap. That was pretty cool. I was little. I was like
Cool.
Huck size.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a big dude, man. He had on like a red checkered flannel, like Dan Fitzgerald wears, in those videos.
Yeah.
And these stonewashed jeans. He had the sleeves rolled up, like his forearms were just massive, and he had like a jean vest on. I'll never forget that. Then he had his face paint and everything on. He was huge, man.
That's funny. Here we go. We got Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Triple H, Kane, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that's all
So
my
many.
time there. Yep.
Yeah, I like Kane too. He's amazing.
Huck loves Kane, dude. Me and him
Really?
wrestle pretty frequently, like play wrestling. He's always, I'm the big red machine.
Yeah, yeah. How about that era, man? Like when the Brothers of Destruction.
Oh
like
yeah,
when,
dude.
When they had the Kane, here's your brother, Kane, and they like teased it for a while, and then all of a sudden the Undertaker, this Kane comes out, man.
Yeah. That was right. I knew about all that, but that was right as I was getting into it. That was kind of fading away.
Yeah, that was the late 90s. Like I remember when Kane put Stone Cold up on a cross that was like the Undertaker symbol, but it's kind of like a cross, and like pulled him. They were crazy, man, back then. It was so much fun. I love that stuff.
Owen Hart, is that the Hart died falling out of the ceiling?
Yeah, he fell. They talked really highly of him too. Yeah.
How about the Hardy Boys?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Hardy Boys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They were. And Lita. Yeah.
I think they have some drug problems now, but
do they really?
Yeah, I think Matt Hardy's Jeff Hardy's not doing good.
Oh man, I saw something with him on there the other day talking.
Yeah. Sounds like he struggles with that a lot. But Cody Rhodes, he's huge now. Dusty Rhodes' son.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, I think he's the champion.
Yeah, he beat Roman Reigns for it. Roman Reigns was like the champion for like 1,300 days or something. Like, I don't know. It was a long time. I think he's got like close to the longest, if not the longest run of champion that there ever was. But he dropped the belt to Cody. Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels and dude, there's endless number of them.
He's probably
Remember Chris Masters, the Masterpiece?
The Master Lock.
Master Lock, yeah. No, he was the Masterpiece, right?
Yeah, but his finisher was the Master Lock. I think it was a what do you call
Nelson or something?
Full Nelson, yeah, the Master Lock, and he'd shake him around.
They'd have competitions on that.
Yeah.
You can get out of the Master Lock. Goldberg.
Yeah. What's her name used to? Do you remember? She was. What did she wrestle at? She might have been in TNA when you started watching it. Her name's Lisa Marie Varon, but she was. What was her name? Began with a V. Her finisher was like the Widowmaker, Widow's Peak, I think is what it was. Somebody help me out here. Black hair. She used to be here in Memphis. I've met her too when she was training here in Memphis. Because Memphis was a huge hub for all the wrestlers. They all came out. A lot of them came out of Memphis. Like The Rock started in Memphis. Undertaker, he was Mean Mark Callis.
A lot of them were over in Ohio and Cincinnati, I know.
Yeah, Ohio Valley. Right. Yeah, they had they had Cena, Orton.
Wasn't China?
Lesnar. No, it wasn't China. What was her name? She was in WWE for a while, and then she left and she was in TNA. I think her name began with a Victoria.
I'm not sure. Maybe if I saw a picture, but
yeah, she wore a knee brace. Yeah,
kind of like Stone Cold.
Huh?
Kind of like Stone Cold.
Yeah, she had the same. She had the same. You'll remember her name is Lisa Marie. But Edge and Christian. Oh yeah. Do you remember the Brood?
Yeah.
Do you remember that with Gangrel?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. There were some characters.
Oh, it's so
Remember,
good.
this is bad to say, man. WGE was kind of crazy, but remember Eugene?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Play like he was
yeah,
mentally handicapped.
yeah.
Well, you remember when
Crazy.
Dustin Rhodes was Gold Dust? Remember when he
Yeah,
played like he had Tourette's?
yeah.
You remember?
Dude, they had crazy stuff happening back then.
Man, there was the PC did not that like I'm telling you, man, 2000, that was the end of all the good stuff stopped in 2000. And it's just been
Well,
like
DX and them
downhill.
guys were after that a little bit.
No, they were still no, they were 90s, man. Late 90s. They were
Mm.
around a little bit, but they didn't do like they did because a lot of them left. You know, Billy Gunn is I don't know if you've seen him, but if you pull his picture up right now, he looks better than he did in his 30s. He's 60 years old, dude.
It's kind of crazy that those wrestlers, like some of them look amazing still, and some of them look like not even the same person.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. The Hulkster, he's broke down with all those back surgeries.
yeah, he's old though, man. He's old.
Yeah, he's in his 70s. You know, he got saved
Yeah,
a couple months ago, which is
yeah.
pretty cool. The Hulkster, man.
Anyway, wrestling was a big influence on me when I was a kid with my fitness.
Yeah.
I had a set of dumbbells in my room. I kept in there and I'd watch wrestling, just hit dumbbells.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it, man. That's what got me. I'd have to say that was probably one of the bigger influences too, because when I started lifting in 1998, that was in the middle of the Attitude Era.
Oh
so
yeah,
you had like The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold, like all those guys, Goldberg, Big Papa Pump, Buff Bagwell.
oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Buff Bagwell's sober. He's been sober for like a year. I follow him. I follow all kind of these guys on like Instagram and stuff.
Well, it's like what's the word? It's like nostalgic to talk about this stuff as kids.
Yeah,
You know?
I think all of us probably as kids watch wrestling to some degree.
Yeah.
If you look up when we get off here, you got to look up Buff Bagwell. He's like turning into Jimmy Hart. He's like morphing into he's starting to look just like Jimmy Hart. Like if you'll see pictures.
I'd look up Jimmy Hart too.
Yeah, you know who Jimmy Hart is, don't you?
I don't think so.
You don't know who Jimmy Hart is?
I don't think
so. South, Jimmy Hart.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was with the Hart Foundation forever.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, kind of high pitched voice guy that was always he always had the mic thing. Yeah. Yeah, look, inner child coming out in everyone tonight.
Yeah.
There's everybody's motivation for the week.
Yeah, go watch some old wrestling clips from YouTube. Get you in shape.
Indiana Hammer. Look at that Indiana Hammer versus.
Oh yeah, that's global. Hey, that's my nickname. That's what they call me.
Oh, the Indiana Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Python that's Patrick.
Awesome. Yeah. My nickname was Latosaurus. That's what everybody called me because my
Latosaurus.
Big. Yeah. That's all my
those clavicles.
Yeah. No, because my back was so wide when I used to train.
Oh yeah, lats are down here, aren't they?
Yeah. Come from here up in your back. They call me Latosaurus because my back was just bigger than anything most people seen around. I mean, it wasn't anything huge like these pro bodybuilders, but maybe with the right amount of substances, it probably could have been, there.
That was a big part of bodybuilding, wasn't it? Like steroids and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Is it still that way? I guess I don't know anything about bodybuilding.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That it's I don't mean, there's nothing wrong with them, in my opinion. If you want to do them, you want, heck, everything to excess. It's like, you look at a race car driver, I mean, they're going 200 miles an hour circular around the track.
Keep talking about this. I can hear you. I'm just going to stand up at my door and pee, but I can hear you. So keep going.
Okay.
All I've been doing today is drinking just gallons of water because I can't eat anything. So I got to pee.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. When it's just part of it. It's like you look at race car drivers and they're crazy to me because they're going 200 miles an hour around a track. And then, I mean, I don't know, all that stuff with the Major League Baseball and other sports. I just think it's kind of dumb. These guys do that for their living, and that's where they make everything illegal. It just doesn't make sense. Come back, Josh. I'm getting scared.
I'm still here.
I got to host a show by myself. Never done this before.
Sorry, it took longer than I thought it would.
You've been drinking a lot of water.
Yeah, dude. Well, when you can't eat, it's like you just drink water to, I guess, put something in your mouth and have the feeling at least you're not, withering away to nothing.
Yeah, like Zeke said, I'd rather see, like, who wants to go to a bodybuilding show or to the WWE and see a bunch of like average dudes? Like, I don't know, America's so messed up because I think we're probably the only country or one of the only countries where it's illegal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, Bush put that in his crime, like in that, when it was a war on drugs or whatever. He just like threw that in there at the end, and made them all Schedule 3. You mean you used to go to the doctor and get them back in the 80s, whatever you wanted, and there was nothing wrong with it. But you had some high profile athletes. Yeah, lock that in, Latitude. You had some high profile athletes die too around that time, like Lyle Alzado. But they talked about the steroids, but didn't talk about the miles of lines of cocaine he used to do too, and stuff like that. A lot of those guys are still alive. I mean, you look at Schwarzenegger. I mean, he's in his mid-70s. Colombo, he died. He drowned. Franco Colombo drowned a few years ago, but he was in his 70s. I think abuse of anything can be bad, but yeah, it's part of the game. It's part of the game.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I have no reason to do steroids, but I think part of that deal is you probably get addicted to them like everything else, or that feeling you don't properly, do them. Yeah. And I also I've never even thought about it. I have no idea,
Yeah, I mean, I did in my 20s, but I wouldn't do them. I'd be too scared to nowadays. There's too much stuff out there, and just getting older, man. I don't want to do something that makes me die.
Yeah.
Something I could help.
Yeah. Anyway, don't be fat. That's what the Bible says.
Yep. Yeah. Read your Bible 6 minutes a day in the morning, and then go run. Fasting, something that I started doing that I really, really like. Not what you're doing, like 2 days in a row, but
right.
It's intermittent fasting or whatever. Wait until like 10 or 11 to eat, and then trying to keep your body in ketosis. Which if somebody on here doesn't know what that is, that's just when your body's burning fat for fuel, you'll go into ketosis.
The keto diet's what that's called, right? Like to keep yourself in ketosis. That's something that really has worked for me in the past that I've been able to sustain. Because I think a lot of the problems with these, these weight loss goals or these weight loss programs or diets is that they're really hard to continue. Like you can do them for a few months, and after that, it's mentally tasking to keep going on them. So you got to find something that works for you and that you can make a lifestyle change for, right?
Yeah, to me, the carnivore works really good if I could just keep the other stuff away from my thoughts. Like sugar is like seriously, like it's addictive, like cocaine to me. It's like, dude, I'll look at something about I'm not going to have that. I'm not going to eat that, and then boom, I've eaten a whole bag. It's nuts. Thank God, my wife's like, thank God you're not a heroin addict or something because you'd have been dead a long time ago.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I think we get a lot of social pressure too. I mean, every day you got people throwing food in your face, getting donuts at work, it's just a lot of social pressure when it comes to food.
Well, the cool thing that I noticed about the carnivore is that when I started, it sent, when you eat that meat, that fatty meat, it sends a hormone to your brain to tell you that you're satiated. So you just don't crave anything because it says I'm full. And if you can keep doing that by eating that way during the day, I was only eating twice a day because I just wasn't hungry, then, you can be successful at it. It's pretty easy to turn it off. I just haven't wanted to because I've been enjoying eating all the crap I've been eating, and I'm kind of like over it because I'm feeling it for sure. And then my weight going up, clothes fitting a little tighter than they were. They were all loose on me and falling off. Now they're not, and I don't like that. I really liked it. Felt good to lose that weight.
Oh yeah. Feels good whenever you're healthy, man.
Mm-hmm. And we got deer season coming up, so I got to
be here before you know it. It's coming quick.
If I come up there to Indiana, I'll be I don't know, you'll be dragging me up. You might get a workout in dragging me up the hill.
Yeah.
big and chunky.
I
I got to order all my stuff for my bow. I still hadn't ordered it yet. Got a little money in my pocket now. I guess I can.
Yeah, you need to.
I can order my stuff.
I guess before we get off here, if anybody's going to be in Michigan this week, I'm going to go. I'll be at Compton Traditional Archery Rendezvous. So if you're there, say hey. And also, I'm probably after this week the pre-order shirts are probably going to go ahead and get all those, and that'll be closed then. So if y'all want a shirt, links in the description.
Yep.
You want else? Is there anything else we want to talk about, Patrick? Or are you good?
Oh, I could just keep going.
I know we keep talking about wrestling.
We keep going. We go in a wrestling rabbit hole
until nobody's listening.
Yeah, we can start going to the history of bodybuilding all the way back to the first Olympia. Let me see, what else could we do? Shoot, they probably like to hear some of this stuff, man.
Yeah,
we got to talk about something. We can't talk about deer.
I shouldn't say didn't follow wrestling or bodybuilding. Like I was aware of who like Ronnie Coleman was back in the day. Like I didn't know him in the depth you did. I just knew kind of the main ones like that were Jay Cutler.
Oh yeah, I watched his podcast today. That's what I was watching earlier before we got on. They had Sergio Oliva on. His dad was Mr. Olympia, 3-time Mr. Olympia, and they looked daggum just about alike. He had like the smallest waist, they said, of any Mr. Olympia. It was like 26 inches. But he had like 21-inch arms. So you can imagine his arms were almost as big around as his waist.
Yeah, that's weird.
He was a freak, and that was back in the 70s when they didn't have a lot, when they weren't as enhanced as they are now, And I think they said, do what?
Now, dude, they kind of don't look good now. Like, I don't like that. It's weird looking.
No, the 90s was the end of when they really looked good. They all looked pretty healthy, but they were still big.
Like in the 90s, they looked like superheroes, right? Like they looked like someone, you would see and playing a superhero. Well, now they look like mutants. Like they look like a Ninja Turtle or something,
Yeah. One of the new younger guys that I really like him. He's a good bodybuilder. He's not genetically gifted, but he's a hard worker, and he comes in super shredded. Is Nick Walker, and he's one of the top 3 in the world. And he's a big old guy, but he looks like a freak. Oh, he's a freak. He's like 5'7". He's competing like the 260s. I think so. He's a little guy, 5'6", 5'7", but he's a giant, muscle wise. But
Patrick, you're the first person I've ever talked to that was into this. Like I didn't know anybody that was into bodybuilding before.
It's weird. I mean, probably per capita in the United States, there's not a lot of us, but it's a growing sport. There's a lot more now that they've got all these divisions. Well,
that's good.
Yeah. Hey, Zeke, speaking of that, Eddie Hall, did you see the Eddie Hall versus 2 female MMA fighters or 2 male MMA fighters?
2 male, yeah. I saw a clip. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Well, I think the whole thing was boring because they wouldn't get near to him. And then when they finally did, he just destroyed them both.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He knocked the one dude straight out. They came to him. He picks one guy up over his head, throws it, just slings him like a rag doll. The other guy comes in, bam, he hits him right on the chin, and he just goes forward asleep. And then the other guy comes in, he wrestles him down to the ground. He's pounding, ground and pounding him. And the dude's like grabbing a hold of his leg, and he's like dragging him by, with his leg. He's holding on to his leg. I mean, it was like so mismatched. These are 2 probably 175-pound, 180-pound guys fighting Eddie Hall. So crazy. Yeah, he just tore. And then I've been seeing this. Have you seen the big fat guy and the 2 female MMA fighters?
Yes, I saw that. I saw that clip. I mean, I didn't. What's going on, dude? Right now, what's going on?
I don't know. The slap fighting.
I think a lot of that came from like the Jake Paul influence, where he's making these like
ridiculous fights and stuff.
Yeah, and I think people are kind of catching on to that stuff.
Yeah, the slap fighting is. I don't know. I couldn't let somebody just slap me like that.
Dude, it's hard to watch too. Like it's, for me at least.
Have you seen the ones where the girls do it? I mean, the girls, they beat the heck out of each other too.
The same people that own UFC own that, right?
I don't think Endeavor owns that.
I think they might. I think they bought it.
Did they really? I wouldn't be surprised.
I know Dana White's involved with it. Maybe Dana White bought it. I don't know.
No, it's probably Endeavor then, I bet, because I bet you they would. That's a good move. I think that's a good move for them.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
That's for sure, like right down that alley of that kind of stuff. It's entertaining.
It's fun.
But
I mean,
God,
people say that it's fun to go watch it. Like I don't know, man. It's brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah, I'll stick with bodybuilding. That's like the only people always ask me, like, man, you watch any sports? I'm like, man, I watch bodybuilding. I don't pay attention to anything else. They're like, you don't watch football? I'm like, not since they all went on strike years ago. I'm like, you don't watch baseball or basketball? I said, no, they kneel. I was like,
dude, all sports is now is a bunch of drama anyway. Like it's just a theatrical drama.
Yeah. Thing about bodybuilding, the reason I like it and I think it's so pure is because it's a lot of hard work and discipline that goes into getting your body to the point that they do. You can take steroids all you want, but you could give everybody in America, you could give them the same cycles of steroids those guys are taking, and they wouldn't even get a third of the way to where those guys are, a quarter of the way. So those guys are just genetic anomalies, and then on top of that, they're gifted. And man, one thing I like about it is there's no discrimination in that thing, man. The best body wins, and everyone seems to get along. Everybody supports each other. I mean, you kind of have some rivalries, but there's none of this. There's no political. I mean, there's politics that plays a role in it, but there's no political BS in it like there is in other major sports. Maybe it's because it's not a major sport, but
yeah. I was watching golf. That's about the only sport I watch. Nobody wants to hear about that.
Well, Zeke's son does something with tractors.
Yeah, tractor pulls.
I saw those trophies. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, we have a big tractor pool here in our county, Tampico Tractor Pools.
Really?
Yeah, a couple of those professionals, Typins, I think. I don't know. Maybe Zeke knows who I'm talking about, but they live here in Brownstown, where I'm from.
Really?
Yeah, it's a big thing around here.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a big thing. I know Sid Vicious.
It might be a Midwestern thing, tractor pulls.
Sid Vicious, he likes to he races Broncos, old box Broncos. He lives over in Marion. You know who I'm talking about, right?
No.
Psycho Sid.
Oh, Vicious? Yeah.
Yeah. He races
Sorry, back to wrestling. Sorry. I thought you were
back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Back to the fun stuff. Yeah. He does that with the Broncos over there. He races Broncos on like some kind of a track over in Marion, Arkansas. That's where he lives.
There's a lot of.
He's a big guy. I've met him too, man. He's a big sucker.
Yeah.
He used to have a yellow Corvette. I used to park it for him. $100. He give me $100 to park his yellow Corvette up front and watch it.
Can't beat that.
He'd say, "You watch it for me." I was like, "Man, just don't beat me up."
My uncle was a golf pro at a great big course in South Carolina that a bunch of famous people were members of. And Dr. J would come play once a week, and Dr. J would give him the keys to he drove like a Suburban or like something like a big SUV like that, and he'd make him go and get McDonald's for him to eat at the turn.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so he'd go get Dr. J McDonald's and then eat with Tom Brady from time to time, I guess, in the clubhouse, and Mark McGuire was a member there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you're not far from French Lick.
No, he lived in South Carolina. He moved out to South
I'm just saying you're not far from French. Have you ever seen Larry Bird?
I didn't say anything about Larry Bird.
I know I am.
Oh, okay. No, I've never seen Larry Bird. I mean, I've seen him on TV.
Does he still live in French Lick, or does he?
I don't think so.
Where he lives?
I don't know. Well, he was involved with the Celtics and the Pacers a little bit, so I don't know what he does now.
Yeah, we're covering the gambit, man. We're going all over the place.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the Bible.
How's your headache,
everybody? I mean, it's still there. But they say the third day, which I can eat tomorrow at noon, but the third day is not as bad. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, good. All you can see on me is my smile right now.
Yeah, you're starting to. Yeah, you're starting to.
We're fading out. I'm sending Brandy texts like lights. She's moving around. No lights.
All right, everybody. Thanks for
hanging with us
tonight. Talking about wrestling, bodybuilding, and a little bit of the Bible. So
next week we'll have our Macho Madness shades on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring
we'll get deeper, and next week we'll focus on the Bible more.
We'll get deep into it. Josh has a headache tonight, so everybody.
Yeah, I just need to talk about John Cena and Ronnie Coleman tonight.
Yeah, we'll get you next week. We'll just the entry music. We can play John Cena's entry music as we come in.
Zeke, John Cena is a big car guy too. I think he has like one of the biggest car collections like on the planet.
John Cena?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You know who else is? Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, and Jay Leno.
He's a car nut. Jay Leno, yeah. Jay Leno's a well-known car nut.
Yeah, I think Jay Leno's is ridiculously big. Like, I think he has people that works for him to just take care of his cars.
Yeah. I want one collector car. If I could get one, it'd be a DeLorean. Just one.
Really?
Yeah, I just want a DeLorean. I think that's the coolest car ever since Back to the Future. I think that's the coolest car I've ever seen.
I take like what was the model? Like the T100, the one that Sylvester Stallone drove in that.
In Cobra. In Cobra.
No, Expendables. It's a newer.
I've never seen that movie.
It's pretty good.
It's got all those superheroes. Those are guys we were talking about, and
you would like it. It's not a bad movie. Some of those can get like a little bit corny, but that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
But, all right, guys, hit the subscribe button if you like wrestling. Bye.